Hello and thanks for joining us for THV 11 News at noon on this Tuesday. I'm Mackailyn Johnson in for Journey Taylor, and here are some of the headlines we're following now at noon. Shocking news out of Oklahoma, where a search for two missing teens turns up 7 bodies on a property south of Tulsa. Well, we've learned this afternoon in less than 2 minutes. Plus, this Texas dad is getting national attention for something folks do every day, make pancakes. And then, of course, this is the biggest night in fashion that happened last night, the Met Gala, of course. Just ahead, we'll review some of the night's most memorable looks. But first, let's go ahead and turn things over to meteorologist Nathan Scott. It is a beautiful Tuesday out there. I can't complain.
We got lots of sunshine out there. Mackailyn, good afternoon to you. This morning, though, we start off on the chilly side in some parts of the region. Woke up with numbers into the 30s. Searcy, Clinton dropped down to 36. 36 in Fayetteville. 47 was the low in Little Rock and 45 in Camden. But look at what's been happening. Temperatures have recovered very nicely. Upper 60s to lower 70s across the board right now. Lots of sun, just a few clouds scooting their way through southwest Arkansas. Also, it's on the breezy side once again. We still have those winds coming in from the northwest, about 10 to as high as 20 miles per hour. And those temperatures today will be warmer than what we saw yesterday. I think we're topping out into the mid to upper 70s, especially from Little Rock down to the south. Upper 60s to right around 70 in North Arkansas. We're going to hang on to dry weather for the rest of our Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But there you see the rain chances do return for Friday and Saturday. I'll have more on that timing and what we can expect for weekend temperatures coming up.
Nathan, thank you. Now to developing and shocking news out of Oklahoma, where a search for two missing teens turns up 7 bodies on a property south of Tulsa. Police in Henrietta, Oklahoma say medical examiners are still trying to identify and confirm the remains. They have since called off the search for 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer. The two were last seen with Jesse McFadden, whose body was also believed to be found. McFadden was a registered sex offender who was to stand trial yesterday. The father of one of the victims says he's left with so many questions about what happened and why.
She always helped me. She helped me with my freaking paperwork in the office. She was a very bright and beautiful young girl. She always played with her little sister, and I don't know how I'm gonna tell her, because she's like, Brittany's lost, Brittany's missing. And I gotta tell a 4-year-old that she's gone, and I don't even know how to do that.
Brewer says he had no idea Jesse McFadden was a sex offender, or he never would have let his daughter spend time with the McFadden family. And the manhunt continues for a suspect wanted for killing 5 of his neighbors with an AR-style rifle Friday night. Officials say just before the massacre, some of the neighbors asked Francisco Oropeza to stop shooting a gun in his yard because a baby was sleeping. The victims range in age from 31 to just 9 years old. The 38-year-old suspect is a Mexican national who was deported and came back to the U.S. 4 times over the past 14 years. And now to a THV 11 update. Hunter Biden will now have to answer more questions about his finances to a judge in Batesville. The judge is overseeing a child support case involving the president's son. Hunter Biden appeared in court Monday in Batesville. The case involves child support payments from Biden to London Roberts, the mother of their 4-year-old daughter. Roberts and her lawyers want many of the same financial records House Republicans are trying to get for their own investigations. The judge ordered Hunter Biden's lawyers to provide written answers by next Friday, which is May 12th, and his deposition will take place in mid-June. If the parties don't reach an agreement to adjust the monthly payments, a trial is scheduled for late July. The White House and congressional leaders are set to meet 1 week from today to discuss raising the debt limit. It will be their first face-to-face talks on the issue since February 1st, and it comes as there's just about 4 weeks to go until the nation defaults on its debt. Skylar Henry has more details from Capitol Hill.
President Biden has invited the Democrat and Republican leaders in the House and Senate to the White House next week to discuss raising the debt limit.
Folks, we've got a lot to do.
There is a lot of work to do and precious little time to get it done. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned that by June 1st, the government will run out of money for the U.S. to pay its bills.
This is about not sending out Social Security checks, not sending out payroll for our soldiers and our servicemen and women, not sending out checks for people who work for the government. This is running out of all government money, not just spending on the debt.
Everyone agrees that defaulting on debt would be disastrous.
Debt ceiling doesn't get raised, all bets are off. We will have a recession, and it won't be a mild one.
But that's where the agreement ends.
We pay our bills, and we should do so without reckless hostage taking from some of the mega Republicans in Congress.
We will not pass a debt ceiling that just raises it without doing something about our debt.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has agreed to meet with President Biden, but he continues to push the plan House Republicans passed last week.
The bill is passed.
The bill passed with a vote along party lines. It would include steep spending cuts, most of which target President Biden's priorities. Democrats say it's dead on arrival in the Senate.
With steep, severe, devastating cuts to things like law enforcement, veterans, families, teachers, kids, even cancer research.
Meanwhile, the markets dropped as soon as they opened, with Wall Street investors getting nervous. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Also in Washington, the Federal Reserve Board is meeting today and tomorrow to discuss raising interest rates again. The Fed is expected to hike rates 1/4 percentage point to try to slow down the economy and bring down inflation. The risk is if the economy slows down too much and we enter a recession. Today, people in Pine Bluff can cast their ballots voting on whether they want to continue paying a capital improvement tax. The tax has been the source of heated debates, and plenty of people for and against it have been making sure their voices are heard. THV 11's Ashley Godwin shows us what we need to know.
The conditions dictate that we need this funding, we need these initiatives, and we don't have time to wait.
In 2017, the people of Pine Bluff passed a 5/8 cent sales tax to improve education and economic development. That tax will sunset soon, and it's once again on the ballot for voters to decide if it should continue. Voters will also decide whether or not to pass a new 3/8 cent sales tax for public safety.
We have so much work in Pine Bluff that has to be done, and it's going to cost a lot of money.
The NAACP Pine Bluff chapter opposes the tax. The president saying it does not meet the priorities of the city.
We have some issues in our community. Our community needs a new school.
Instead, the president says the city should be putting money towards the Pine Bluff school millage.
To put this tax before our children, the NAACP had to speak out.
Early voting begins Tuesday at the Jefferson County Courthouse until next Monday from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Election Day will be May 9th at your polling location from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Early voting also begins for those who live in Jacksonville. There are no changes to the school millage and there are no candidates running. But because of Arkansas law, an election must be held. Back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. And also today, early voting begins for the annual school board election in Jacksonville. Something to note, there won't be any voting on the actual election day next Tuesday, since there aren't any certified candidates or tax changes. The process is really a formality more than anything else, and a chance for people to exercise their right to vote. Voting will run from 8 to 5 each day through next Monday at 2 locations, the Pulaski County Regional Building and Jacksonville Community Center. North Little Rock has moved its city services facility into the old Blue Cross Blue Shield building at Pershing and Percy Machin Boulevards. They've transferred over departments like human resources, engineering, planning, and finance, all for easier access. The building also hosts the North Little Rock Fire Training Center. The main entrance is the only entrance that's open at 700 West 29th Street. And the Pulaski County Bar Association is hosting a blood drive today outside the Pulaski County Courthouse. Donors will get a t-shirt and a voucher for free admission to Magic Springs. The drive started at 9 a.m. and will run until 1 this afternoon, so you still have time to head over there. It's in the parking lot at the corner of 2nd and Spring Street. Just look for the Bloodmobile. And still ahead on THV 11 News at noon, a Texas artist is getting national attention for artwork that tastes as good as it looks. More on the mill that has celebrities talking in about 7 minutes. But first, let's get a check of the weather. Nathan?
It's terrific weather on our Tuesday, Mackailyn. Look at all that blue sky. Lots of sunshine, wall to wall across the state. But how long will this trend stick around? I'll let you know. It's not going to be very long. I'll have more on the forecast changing coming up.